The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you. It is 5:01 on this Wednesday. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Elena Rusk, and we begin with the coverage of the Sierra snowmelt. Highway 178 remains closed through the Kern River Canyon due to major concerns about the road there. It's been 5 days since big gaping cracks formed near the edge of a cliff, and still there's no estimated time on when the road could be fixed and safe to drive on again. But Caltrans engineers were out on the roadway yesterday evaluating the damage, trying to come up with a solution. 17's Marco Torres reports.
Highway 178 in the Kern River Canyon is severely cracked in two spots on the westbound lane. In scale, the cracks are big enough for a foot or hand to fit through. The Kern River is aggressively eroding the rock and sediment next to the road, leading to major concern.
Fortunately, because of the damaged roadway, the 170 is currently closed through the canyon, and at this time it's unknown how long it will remain closed.
Caltrans has its chief engineer evaluating the situation. In the meantime, the canyon road will be closed indefinitely until an update is given.
Anybody that plans on traveling through the canyon, they just need to plan to not take the canyon for quite some time. We do have Caltrans that are just working hard trying to reevaluate it and try to see how they're going to fix it. So in the meantime, there are alternate routes that we can give you.
The alternate route is for drivers to take Highway 58 east, go north on Highway 14, then west on Highway 178.
You know, it's unfortunate, it's something unexpected, it's something that was just caused but natural. We do want you to please be patient. We do want you to understand that your safety is priority. So it's best that, like I said, you plan in the meantime not to take that route till it's considered safe and repaired.
Marco Torres, 17 News.
And another traffic alert for you. Southbound Highway 99 now back open for just in time for the morning commute. It was closed overnight through the heart of Bakersfield so crews could do some construction work for the Thomas Roads Improvement Program. The closures do continue for the next 2 nights between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. During that time, all southbound lanes of the 99 will be shut down between the Highway 58 interchange to Ming Avenue. There are detours available, but expect slowing.
Turning now to Capitol Hill, the federal government has just under a week to avoid a first-ever debt default as a compromise deal between House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and President Biden is making its way through Congress. As NBC's Bree Jackson reports, both sides are working within their parties to secure support for the measure.
The debt limit fight heads to the House floor for a vote today. Battle lines are already drawn.
No Republican should vote for this bill, and so my focus is trying to persuade my colleagues what's wrong with the bill.
I have not decided yet, again, waiting for the numbers.
Some hardline Republicans argue the measure, which cuts spending, did not go far enough. Progressive Democrats raise concerns about concessions President Biden made. Party leaders are working to secure enough votes to get the bill to the president's desk.
But it's important for House Republicans to produce at least 150 votes. This is an agreement that they themselves negotiated, and they should be able to produce the votes necessary.
If the plan passes the House, it moves to the Senate, where there's bipartisan praise.
House Republicans focused on reaching a bipartisan agreement to put reasonable caps on federal spending.
I commend President Biden and his team for producing a sensible compromise under the most difficult of circumstances.
Across the country, there's a sense of urgency.
We're tired of gridlocks. We can't default on our debt. That's, would be ugly for this country. So hopefully they'll get together and do the right thing.
The federal government has just under a week to lift the debt limit before the June 5th deadline. And if passed, the Fiscal Responsibility Act would extend the debt limit for 2 years. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Making news around the nation, there's fear and outrage in Iowa this morning as cameras desperately cling to hope that their loved ones may be still found alive inside a partially collapsed apartment building in the city of Davenport. That building completely gone. But then an amazing scene, a resident waving for help more than 24 hours after that partial collapse. Not only that, it came after authorities said first responders had checked the entire building and said no one was left inside. In fact, they were planning to demolish the building as early as yesterday morning. That sparked outrage with families demanding that demolition be pushed back, fearing more residents may be trapped inside. Now city officials say they believe at least 2 people may still be in there. NBC's Maggie Vespa has been following it all from Davenport.
A miraculous rescue deemed a turning point in Davenport. 52-year-old Lisa Brooks suddenly appearing in her 4th floor window Monday night, hours after the search for survivors was called off.
We do not have any credible information at this time of anyone missing.
Despite family and friends insisting Brooks was still unaccounted for.
She's not anywhere, nowhere to be found.
But Brooks, who family says is disabled, was inside, spending much of the last 24 hours, her family says, in shock, cowering in her bathtub after a portion of her more than 100-year-old apartment building collapsed Sunday. Officials blown away.
Why wasn't she found earlier? I am totally transparent with you. I do not know.
They say crews had combed this site with canines, drones, even thermal imaging, indicating there were no survivors left. So much so, the city announced demolition would commence, now confirming plans changed when Brooks emerged.
What did you think when you saw her in the window?
I was crying. Yeah, I was crying.
The city planning another search, now saying 2 people may still be trapped in the rubble. One of them, computer technician Ryan Hitchcock, his family pleading for patience.
Ryan wouldn't want anyone else to put their lives at risk to, unfortunately, somebody who probably has not survived.
Families say Brandon Colvin, a father of 5, is the other person likely trapped, adding that's his apartment, his rack of clothes visible from the street.
They have not exhausted all means to make sure everybody is out of there.
The problem? The building, which the city says has a history of complaints and was under repair, is now being held up by rubble.
Be careful because this building is going to collapse.
That was Maggie Vespa reporting. Also in Iowa, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis kicked off his presidential campaign tour yesterday. He received an energetic welcome from the crowd at his first Iowa rally as a 2024 presidential candidate. More than 500 people filled the Eternity Church Auditorium. During his speech, he spoke about his legal battles with Disney as well as restrictions on LGBTQ discussion in Florida schools. New details this morning on the Valley Plaza robbery that led to a high-speed chase from Bakersfield to Castaic over the weekend. It all started Friday night. Police say 2 teens called 911 saying they were robbed at gunpoint outside the mall by several men wearing ski masks. Apparently the men took jewelry and other items before driving off. Less than 20 minutes later, officers spotted the vehicle in South Bakersfield, kicking off a pursuit that eventually ended on the other side of the Grapevine in Castaic. 4 men were arrested, all under the age of 25. They're now facing multiple charges, including robbery, gang participation, willful cruelty to a child, resisting arrest, and weapons violations.
Turning now to a signature issue here at KGT, what we call Kern's Sober Reality. And the new numbers are in. 28 drivers arrested in Bakersfield over the holiday weekend on suspicion of being under the influence while behind the wheel. Those arrests happening during CHP's maximum enforcement period, which ran from Friday night to Monday morning, through Monday night, CHP says nearly 300 citations were issued during the holiday. The majority of those citations were for speeding, but 21 drivers were also cited for distracted driving.
17 Crime Watch this morning. A Bakersfield man was arrested yesterday on charges of child pornography. His arrest is the latest in an ongoing internet crimes against children investigation involving the Bakersfield Police Department. 17's Michaela Armstrong reports.
A neighborhood in northwest Bakersfield known to be typically quiet awakened Tuesday morning by a large police presence and the city's latest child pornography arrest. Police arrested 19-year-old Austin Broadsley on 1 felony count of distributing child pornography of a child under 18 years old. No one wanted to be on camera, but neighbors told 17 News the police were seen carrying bags out of the home during the arrest, and not just one, but several. According to arrest records, he is out on bail, but his arrest is the latest in a string of child pornography cases throughout Kern County, including the arrest of 59-year-old Matthew Ambrose, a teacher of Bakersfield City School District accused of distributing and possessing child pornography. Court records show Ambrose is out on bail, and the district says he is not allowed back on campus. Then the arrest of 58-year-old Donald Almond, arrested after allegedly offering drugs to meet up and have sex with an officer, posing online as a 15-year-old girl. Almond pleaded not guilty to charges Thursday.
Michaela Armstrong, 17 News.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.